That is the view of the marine layer. It was streaming in over North Beach there. And the most important part of this forecast is the fact that the marine layer is going to become a bigger part of our lives over the next few days. We're going to start to get back into much more typical June gloom for the last few days of June anyway. So I want to walk you through what that'll look like and what causes that. Why does it all of a sudden just come back in a bigger wave for like 3 or 4 days and then it goes away again? Look what it's doing right now. Here, this is live updated high-resolution satellite. That's what the clouds are doing. You see the marine layer? Look at that little ribbon right there that's just streaming in through the Golden Gate. That's what we were just looking at. In fact, that's what it looks like on satellite. Here's an eyewitness account of it. That's what it looks like from the camera. This is one of those classic days where you kind of get that carpet that streams in over Alcatraz and then goes out over towards like the East Bay. That is going to grow overnight and become much more widespread. Let's come back to the map. I'll show you what I mean by that. We'll take the forecast ahead. Marine layer builds in this evening. And unlike the last few days, when we get to like 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, here's your Sunday, we filled in pretty much the entire bay. Now, we haven't filled in the whole Bay Area because I don't think this is going to get over towards the Tri-Valley for tomorrow morning. Likely you wake up with clear skies, but look at the North Bay. You'll get it. Santa Clara Valley, you'll get it. And then it'll melt back as we get into the afternoon. So if you really want to see what the rest of Sunday looks like, it's going to be just fine. It's going to be beautiful. In fact, after a great start, by the time we get to noon, it's right back pretty much where it is now. So don't get me wrong, Sunday is going to be a beautiful day in terms of sunshine. It's just going to start out grayer than it was today. And as a result, we're going to get a little bit of a cool down. I'll show you the cool down in 1 second. First, what's going on with the marine layer now and why is this happening? Tomorrow is just the start, by the way. Because much of next week, it's going to become even more widespread. It's going to build farther inland, and it'll be a bigger factor for at least the first 2 or 3 days of next week. What's driving this? Why does it do it? You take a look out off the coast, and you don't really see a whole lot of anything on the satellite that would tell you. And even when you try to visualize the atmosphere in a number of different ways, using the satellite, you still don't really see it. So let me show you what's doing it. We come down here, and this dry patch right here on the water vapor is a developing little area of low pressure. See that little low that just spun itself up out of nowhere from today into Tuesday? When you get an area of low pressure like that, and that's what the red's showing you on here, this is not a storm. We're just visualizing where the vorticity is or the rotation, that counterclockwise spin. That counterclockwise spin lifts the marine layer up. It deepens it. And when it does that, now it can throw it much farther inland. That's going to be with us Monday, Tuesday. Let's play it through. Still be here Wednesday, and then it'll leave. So for the next couple of days, we're going to see the marine layer deepen and get thrown farther inland. Let's start at the beginning. Here's the first of those several days. This is Sunday. What are your daytime highs going to be like? A little bit cooler than today. So what we were looking at the top of the newscast, Concord went to 97 today. Still going to be hot there tomorrow, but you're going to go to the low 90s instead of the upper 90s. And when you look at the rest of these numbers, they're all a little bit better. And when we look at the 7-day forecast, after we do this and we manage to bring these numbers down to this location, we're just going to kind of stay there for a little while. So let's bring in the 7-day. I'll show you what that looks like first for our inland microclimate. You see the temperatures on here, more like mid-80s, even some low 80s for the rest of the week. This is the inland microclimate, by the way. And there's even a more notable cool down by next weekend, more overdrive. By then, we'll be calling this probably no sky July as we get into early July. That's kind of the fun that we have with this. All right, here's the 7-day forecast for the Bay. You'll see your numbers, but you'll also see the marine layer, a bigger factor within each one of those terrariums for the next few days. All right, Andrea, over to you.